Welcome to Aaron's review, and in today's video we'll be talking more about the SP1000 amp that is due to be released next month for the SP1000 Player. Since you're watching this video right now, I'm assuming that you already have the SP1000 or intend to purchase an SP1000 when you actually buy the SP1000 amp. Well, I just want to clarify that in my previous videos that I've made, I've actually done 4 videos on SP1000 tips and tricks, with tips 1 being how to install software on the SP1000, which will be useful if you intend to buy the SP2000, because I think the installation of the open app should be the same. If you look at my tips and tricks number 2, it talks about the fact that how to keep the player nice and brand new as to keep it from oxidization. Which is what mainly happens with the copper version, but as you can see with this one, I've actually covered it in plastic as a shop, which means that it will look like this brand new without any problems. And with tips and tricks number 3, I actually show you how to install any app. That means Android apps onto the SP1000 Player, which means, for example, this software. So here's an example. I actually installed MX Player, which means you are able to watch movies, which is what I'm going to demonstrate now. It needs a bit of time to buffer, but that is what I did in tips and tricks number 3. It's my first time since I reinstalled it, so that's why it's a little bit longer. So there we go. You're able to watch movies using MX Player app. Obviously, other apps can be installed, which I've shown in that video. And in my final video, which is part 4, I demonstrate to you how to control your SP1000 Player using Wi-Fi and also Bluetooth. So for instance, this remote, yes, it's a Sony remote. It also works with the SP1000, so you might want to take a look at that video. There is one thing to note: when you actually buy the SP1000 amp, one thing that you're most likely going to do is to upgrade the firmware. It is possible that when you upgrade the firmware, tips and tricks number 3 might not work. That means you are not able to install any app that you want on this SP1000 Player. And also with the remotes, they might remove that option, because this remote is quite cheap, which is 380 Hong Kong dollars. In comparisons to the one that they offer themselves. Anyway, that's what I want to talk about. The videos are provided in the link below. We're now going to start talking about the SP1000 amp. So you currently have the SP1000. I actually have the copper version. There are actually 4 versions available in the world, and when I say 4 version, that means this big version, not the M version. The M version, just to let you know, the SP1000 amp do not work with the smaller player, so SP1000 M will not be compatible, and with SP2000 the amp will also not be compatible. So it's only available if you have the copper version, the stainless steel version, the onyx black version, and there is a limited version which is 200 worldwide as far as I remember, which is the black copper version that is only available in China and already sold out. Now you're probably thinking, oh, why have I got 2 cases here? This is to demonstrate the fact that actually when you buy the SP1000 Player, an actual case comes with the machine or in the box, which is this red one. One of the reasons that I'm trying to show you this right now is I'm not happy with this case because it doesn't fully protect all the sides. With the one that I purchased here, which is costing about 1,000 Hong Kong dollars, this protects a little bit more. Okay, so I'm assuming that with the SP2000 it will also come with a case, a leather one. Hopefully the case is better protected than this one, if possible. Besides just the case, you will be happy to know that inside the player, when I purchased the SP1000, it also comes with a couple of screen protectors. That's actually 2 screen protectors for the front and 2 screen protectors for the back. So my assumption is when you buy the SP2000, it should come with a leather case and already have possibly 2 screen protectors and back screen protectors as well. So now coming to the SP1000 amp now, there are actually currently 3 versions of the SP1000 amp as shown in this picture, which is the copper version, the stainless steel version, and black onyx version. There is no black copper version. Many of you are probably deciding which amp should I buy, and questions I've been asked about or seen so far of people who own their players are, should I buy the copper amp with my copper player, or should I mix and match with my player? Will that change the sound quality in any way? To help you decide which amp you should buy with the SP1000, and if it changes anything when you actually pair it to different materials, I just want to give you some advice from what I've experienced using my AK380, which I previously owned. And just to clarify, there are 6 versions which I've owned before: AK380 Geranium and also the amp in Geranium. I've also owned the AK380 in black with the black amp, and I've also owned the copper version of AK380 with AK380 amp. Sadly, I've not had the opportunity to own the AK380 in stainless steel with the stainless steel amp, so I'm not able to comment on the stainless steel version. However, I have actually done mix and match with these other players, so I can give you some comments if it changes the player in any way or changes the sound quality of those players. For those of you who have tried all 3 versions, which is the Geranium version, the black version, and also the copper version, you will probably notice that there's different sound signature coming from each one. If you were to pair the copper version with the copper amp, I would say it gives you the same copper signature but in more depth and detail. That is what you're getting when you actually pair copper with the copper amp. My preference after that would then be the copper with the Geranium amp if you're not able to find the copper amp. So what you get would be the copper sound signature mixed with a slightly of the Geranium sound signature. And the black one is the one that I like the least, which is what I put down as my bottom one if I were to pair the copper with any of these 3 amps. My next one that I would probably go for is probably the Geranium player with the copper amp. Yes, it gets most of the Geranium amp but mixes it a little bit with the copper sound signature, so you get a bit of both. But obviously it retains more of the Geranium detail, but mixes it with a little of the copper sound signature. After that, I would then aim for the Geranium player with Geranium amp. That would be my next preference, and for me, preference wise, the black is the one that I like the least, but that's my preference. So to summarize, having tested several versions of the AK380 with its various amp, I can positively say that there are differences when you actually pair them to different players, and I believe that it will be the same with the new SP1000 amp that they've actually announced. Next thing that you probably want to know is the fact that inside the SP1000 amp it comes with a leather case, so that means you don't have to purchase an extra leather case with it, which is saving you some money. If you already own the SP1000 in stainless steel, then you're most likely going to buy the stainless steel version of the amp. If you own the copper version of the player, then you're most likely going to go for the copper version of the amp, as it gives an increase in the same sound signature that you have with the copper, and I would possibly more depth of the same sound signature. So if you have the black onyx version, then you probably go with the black onyx version. My suggestion is, if you have access to a shop that allows you to try all 3, then you should do that first. Now for those of you who are in a different country and it's not possible to go to a shop that has to test these products, then I would probably suggest stick with the same one, as your mind already tells you that that is the sound signature that you like. At the moment, I will probably go to the shops in Hong Kong to test all 3 versions first to see which one goes well with the SP1000, but in the end I might actually skip the SP1000 amp, as I don't require that extra power from the amp, and I'm sure that the SP2000 will have an even wider sound stage and even more clarity than the SP1000. Why I probably suggest to you, you might want to click on the subscribe button below, as I will definitely make a future video on one of these items. At the moment, maybe the SP2000. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully that is helpful to those of you who are thinking of which amp to go for. I'll see you again in the next video, and thanks for watching. And